And since you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you love HOAs just as much as I do.
Literally drove us out of here.
Trouble is rocking the neighborhood. The homeowners are in a battle with their HOA over decorative rocks.
Now they may have to remove all of them.
A property buyer claims he was denied access to a home that he bought in Riviera Beach and only got in after he called police.
He says it's because the HOA claims money is owed from the previous owner.
Love them or hate them, HOAs, they do serve a purpose. In today's video, I'm going to break down some laws that you should possibly know about if you're considering living within a community that has a HOA here in Florida. Now, here in Florida, homeowners associations are governed by a specific type of state statutes that outline the type of powers that they have. Now, I'm covering Florida because that's where I live, but you should definitely check out the laws in your state if you're not a Florida resident. But before I jump in, let me go over some housekeeping information about HOAs that you may not know. Here in Florida, HOAs are non-profit. I'm sure you find that hard to believe, but they are. Now, the property management companies that they use, well, they can make profit. HOAs, they must be incorporated. HOAs are required to have a board of directors, and in Florida, the board members have the authority to make decisions regarding the upkeep of common areas. They can enforce rules and are handling the association's finances. While not required, but encouraged, committees can be put into place with an HOA. These committees take over tasks basically that the board people don't want to take care of themselves, like an architectural review board or a planning committee, for that Christmas party you're going to go to within the community. I'm sure you always want to go to a Christmas party, clock a few back, and tell the HOA president exactly how you feel about them. That probably would not be a good idea. Here in Florida, HOA laws mandate stringent financial management to ensure transparency and the proper use of funds within the homeowners association. And they are subject to audits of a CPA if the homeowners within the community want that to happen. And I would do that. An HOA is required to carefully prepare and adhere to an annual budget that accounts for all common area expenses, and assessments and HOA fees are determined based upon what that annual budget is. Whether you're familiar with an HOA or not, they wield a lot of power. They can enforce community rules. They have the ability to charge fines for the rule breakers, and they can even foreclose on your home. Did you know that?
Can an HOA in Florida put a lien on your house? Let's verify. We can verify that yes, HOAs can not only issue a lien, but they even have the power to foreclose on a home. Our sources are Chapter 720 of the Florida State Statutes and Rock Solid Law and Title Associate Attorney Walt Unfricht.
They could absolutely foreclose on your home for owing them $1,000. They could foreclose on a multi-million-dollar home or something like that.
Whether you love them or hate them, HOAs are put in place to maintain the continuity within the community, take care of the daily ins and outs, so they keep that ship running right. But every once in a while, the HOA, well, they lose their way. That's right. All kinds of things can happen within an HOA community, from board members running amok, finding the living daylights out of people, to putting their hands in the cookie jar and embezzling money. All of that can happen.
In order to get on the board, there's no prior qualifications that you're an accountant or you're an attorney or you have any prior business experience whatsoever.
So what happens?
Sometimes the budget isn't done right. Sometimes the spending isn't done right. Oftentimes the repairs are not done right.
But have no fear, we've got some laws that have gone into place to help protect you. So I'm going to break down some of the laws that have already gone into place here recently, and I'm going to give you a list of some ones that are on the board to be approved. Hopefully, because there's some good ones. There's some real game changers that are coming up for the HOA. House Bill 919 went into effect in October of 2023. Under this bill, the homeowners can't be fined or suspended for violating the association bylaws or rules, unless there's a 2-week notice given to them that has to be delivered to their email or mailing address on the HOA's official records. So apparently they need to give you 2 weeks to remedy the situation before they can fine you. House Bill 437 went into effect in July of 2023. The statute essentially grants homeowners greater autonomy, everybody wants some autonomy, over their property by limiting the ability of the HOAs to penalize homeowners for storing items in their backyard. I've had that happen to me, and that one made me mad. Okay, so there is some rules to it, however. This provision recognizes the importance of personal space and the right of a homeowner's ability to utilize their property as they see fit, provided it doesn't visibly disrupt, say that 10 times fast, visibly disrupt the aesthetic harmony of your community. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Senate Bill 252. This also went into effect in 2023, June of 2023. This law emphasizes respect for individual choice and autonomy in health-related decisions by prohibiting mandatory COVID-19 vaccination proof. Well, I agree with that. Nobody should force you to have a vaccine if you live in a community. Yeah, so they can't do that anymore. This not only applies to HOAs, but businesses and nonprofit organizations. They also can't force you to wear a mask within an HOA community either. This is a good one. House Bill 949 has to do with golf carts, and I do sell a lot of real estate within communities that use golf carts. This took effect in October of 2023. This bill mainly applies to communities, of course, with heavy golf cart traffic. It sets clear age restrictions for golf cart drivers and buckles down on safety for the neighborhood where residents drive golf carts, much as they would drive cars. So if you drive a golf cart, now you need to be at least 14 and have a learner's permit. Senate Bill 154 went into effect last year in June. This had to do primarily with the Champlain Towers collapse.
From a Champlain Tower, something's going on here. You got to get us out of here.
I did do a video on that. I'm going to stick it at the end of this video. You should watch it. It really dives into condo association laws that have went into place. This has to do with rigorous inspections on condos that are 3 stories or higher and a specific age. So now they have to go through a full engineering type of inspection where they didn't have to do that before. Okay, so let's talk about some laws that are under consideration here in Florida, and these are some good ones. Right now, they're just being drafted up and reviewed, and hopefully will go into law, but I'm sure there's going to be some attorneys that represent homeowners associations and or management companies that are going to have some pushback, but hopefully not too much pushback. These laws that are coming up are referred to as the Homeowners Bill of Rights. And there's some big changes coming for the HOA if all of these laws are passed. Let's talk about what this law would do. It would require the HOA to provide to the homeowner on request a detailed accounting of any amounts the homeowner owes. Failure to provide it within 10 days will result in a complete waiver of any outstanding fees. Wow. I'd hate to be the person in charge of staying on top of that. The law prohibits the HOA from restrictions on the interior structures that are not visible from the homeowner's frontage or adjacent property. Yes, there are some HOAs that had the nerve to tell people what they could do on the inside of their house. And with this new law, they will not be able to do that. Mandates an appeal process for homeowners whose rights and privileges have been unreasonably infringed upon or impaired due to an architectural or construction decision by the HOAs or the HOA's committees. So you put in a request to make some type of improvement on your home and they just rubber stamp it and say, nope, not allowed. Now they're gonna have to allow a process where you can appeal the decision, and they need to actually outline why and show you the rule within the HOA that says you can't make that improvement. blocks fines or suspensions for leaving garbage cans out. You know, they love to give you a fine because you didn't drag your garbage can in within that 24-hour period. Now they can't do that. Same goes for holiday decorations. With the holiday decorations, obviously there's some rules. Unless left up more than a week after the homeowner receives the written notice. This is a big one, because I hear about this one all the time. Prevents restrictions against parking personal vehicles, including pickup trucks, in the homeowner's driveway. This would also include common parking lots or public roads within the community. This is a good one. Allows homeowners to install hurricane panel protection elements, metal roofs, artificial turf to their property, vegetable gardens, or clotheslines. Yes, even the government has gotten their hands in on the clothesline thing. It's part of the net zero thing. They obviously don't want you using your dryer anymore. So, encouraging you to dry your clothes outside. I'm not doing that. Of course, they're going to start limiting the amount of fines a homeowners association can assess. That's good. Blocks retroactive enforcement of new rules or covenants. Yeah, that would just not be right. Now there's another bill in reference to fines that is underway. It's not quite law yet. We all know that homeowners associations can fine you a lot for any type of violation. So House 431 restricts and caps fines levied by homeowners association. Apparently it's gonna cap it at $500, where in some cases it had been capped at $1,000. This language that I've got here is a little on the loose side, but it says it's not going to allow it to exceed $500. Also being considered is House Bill 1243. This one has to do with homeowners associations, them actually giving you answers. And as a realtor, we deal with this all the time. It's predominantly the property managers that do this, but you want to get information from them, and you can never get a hold of the property manager. You can never get anybody to give you information. A lot of them won't give you the information without you paying them a fee, if you can believe that. So with this law, it requires the HOA managers or community association managers to attend at least one HOA meeting, because they're notorious for not attending them. Apparently, it requires each HOA manager to be publicly available. So they've got to put a number out where they can be reached. Requires the HOA or management firm to provide a copy of the HOA contract upon request. I can't believe this next one actually needs to be put into a law. Makes accepting bribes of money, goods or services between $25 and $1,000 a first-degree misdemeanor, and anything over $1,000 a third-degree felony. Okay. Requires restrictions on construction or improvements to be applied consistently. Can't let one guy do it and tell the other guy he can't do it. And it requires continuing education for the HOA managers. So these are predominantly rules that apply to a property management company. There are a few other laws that are currently in their infancy stages, and when they get further down the line, I'll be more than happy to update you on them. But all of these laws that have gone into place and are looking to go into place are going to do nothing but benefit the homeowner. Now, what do you think of the laws that I went over? Has any of those things happened to you where that law would have benefited you? Have you ever had a project you wanted to do at your home be turned down just because? Or have a homeowners association tell you, you know, you can't put a swing set up in the backyard for your kids, even if it's not visible to the road? I personally have had that happen where I purchased a small little lean-to type shed, which you could not see from the road at all due to the vegetation that was there, and they still made me take it down. It's a good idea to make yourself very familiar with the rules if you live in an HOA. You're supposed to get a copy of those rules when you go under contract so that you can review them and make sure that you can live with them. HOAs have a lot of power. They can make your life miserable sometimes. You know, the newer ones, they're generally not as bad as ones that have been around 20 or 30 years. And some of the rules in these communities, some of them can be a little on the ridiculous side. Like what kind of holiday decorations that you can put up, I find to be over the top. But every HOA is gonna have rules about parking, about the type of pets and the size of the pets, the number of pets that you can have within a community. For instance, short-term rentals, which I totally agree with. You don't want to have a revolving door within your community. So there'll be restrictions on rentals. That's a reasonable type of rule. They just need some balance and some common sense thinking. So make sure you have a set of your HOA rules if you live there. And if you don't know where to find them, there's several places that you should look. Most of the time you can find your bylaws, rules, and regulations for your homeowners association on your county's clerk of court's website. All HOAs should be registered with the Florida Department of State Divisions of Corporations. You can use their site to research information about the HOA's activities, as well as get the names and addresses of the HOA's registered agent, the president, the vice president, treasurer, and secretary. And many people ask, is there any way to get around the HOA and the rules? And the short answer is no. So probably not a good idea for you to live within an HOA community if you're not willing to live with a lot of rules that will be enforced. I've lived in several homeowners associations, and I've lived within communities where I had no problems with them at all, and then I had others where I did. The very first community that I lived in with an HOA, I wasn't really happy with the way it was being run, so I decided to run for the HOA presidency. I'll never get those 2 years of my life back. It's a thankless job. Don't do it. Now, if you got some value out of this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. It does help this video go out into the universe with all the people that may be interested in what's happening with HOAs in the state of Florida. And of course, consider subscribing, because I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. Now, a lot of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. Maybe that describes you. It's free. All you gotta do is smash that button on your PC or your phone, and I'll get to see you more often. Now, if you want to find out about what's happening with those condos, there's a lot of things changing if you're considering living in a condo, and I'm going to put that at the end of this video. So make sure to check that one out. And if you're still watching, I'm sending you a big internet hug. My name is Lisa. This is Living with Lisa. I want to thank you for giving me part of your day. Take care.